Guys, I have waited 3 years to get this package. I bought this. It's actually been in my Amazon cart on and off probably 20 times. I was not going to make a video on this, but then I decided I don't care about all the rage baiters because this is going to get some rage bait comments. I already know it, but I don't care. I want to be able to show you guys me first unboxing this and then coming back months later to let you guys know if this really is worth the price. This is a big splurge, okay? So what is it? Okay, whatever. This is the Jetboil Genesis Basecamp cooking system. This thing right here was 300 bucks. Technically it was on sale. I think normally it's like 400. Whoops. But I finally picked this thing up. And the main reason I got this, or at least what I'm telling myself why this was worth it, is because I wanted something to put in my truck camper that I'm building out and going to start using for 2026 that comes kind of in an all-in-one unit. Yes, there are, and I use in my mini camper a Nature Hike 2-burner open stove just like this that was like 80 bucks. But it doesn't come with pots and pans, and it just takes up a lot more room when you have to find a place to put those pans and those big pots and the stove all separate. They just all take up a lot more room than what this does. And this has 10-inch pots and pans all in this little package. So at least that's what I'm telling myself. I love my Jetboil that I make coffee with. So I'm thinking that I hope I like this. If not, I'll return it. But I wanted to be able to come back to you guys and say, yes, this actually is worth the price tag. But look how small this is. This is going to fit underneath my cot, underneath my bed in my truck camper now, instead of what I'm using now, which is an ammo can, a 50 cal ammo can to store my 2 little 8-inch Jetboil skillets, which are the best, by the way, and then another container to store my big kind of pot in case I have to boil water or make spaghetti or whatever. I can't keep it all together, and then I got to store my stove. This, you know, it's just pretty easy. It kind of stores all together, but let's open it up. All right, so we got, obviously, the carrying case. Up here in the lid, we're probably gonna have, this is gonna be the regulator. So this is propane, unlike the standard Jetboils, which use isobutane. This is a propane device. So you got your regulator. So this is technically made for the little green 1-pound propane bottles, but you can get a hose and an adapter that'll work with this, that'll go to my 5-pound propane tank that I keep stored on the side of my fender well on my mini camper. And then, yep, that's worth it. That's worth the 300 bucks right there. Is a nice sticker. Good quality sticker. Hopefully you guys can catch that sarcasm. This is it right here. So everything nests. So this is going to be a 10-inch skillet with some folding handles, and this is almost kind of like Plastidip. So what's good about these, and this is just like my 8-inch skillet, which I think this non-stick coating in these Jetboils are some of the best, but it doesn't get hot. So you can pick this up when it's on the flame. So you're going to get that. You've got a lid, and it actually has a strainer built into it. So if you're making spaghetti, you can strain it with the lid on. And this is going to be, how do you get this out? The actual stove. We'll open that up in just a second. But the last remaining piece is going to be this nice, huge pot. This thing is massive. Again, with the handles, the little like rubber, it's not really rubber. Again, it's plasticky rubber. I don't know exactly what it is, but get those out of the way. So this is a 5-liter cooking pot. And these have that, what they call the flux ring, if I can get that in camera. It's all these little fins that go all the way around it. Just like the Jetboil coffee maker is what I'm gonna call it, the little Jetboil stove. It uses that same technology, so it, in theory, is supposed to heat up this entire thing more evenly because you're just gonna have a flame right here in the center. But it's these little flux rings are supposed to heat it up better. I don't know if that's just completely market humbo jumbo, but. And then this, I saw a video on this thing. This is kind of funny. This is some type of plastic windscreen. I think this is the kind of chintzy part of this whole $300 system, but it might come in useful. But that is it. That's everything you get. And then as for the stove, okay, so the way that I think this thing opens is there's a couple of rubber flaps that you, so there's a couple of rubber flaps here that you're just going to pop out. And then this thing should just kind of fold open. And that's it. So they're definitely more spread out. They're further apart than my Nature Hike. Now this is only 10,000 BTUs, whereas my Nature Hike I think is 13 or 14,000 BTUs. So technically, that $80 stove puts out more BTUs than this does. So there's that. But again, I think this is more of a convenience factor, at least for me. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to use it. This is something, again, I bought on my own. Jetboil definitely did not send this to me. So I might be eating all my words. I might be eating my 300 bucks. I don't know. This pot, what's cool also about this ring right here and this grate, this over the burner, sits right on it so it doesn't slide off. There's no risk of you bumping the table and that sliding off. And you can fit both of these huge 10-inch skillet, 5-liter pot together. There is actually and even a little bit of space in between. So you can cook literally a whole meal with this 10-inch frying pan and that 5-liter pot. And this pot works for both. You can use it here. It's got a little handle that you can pick up if it's hot. And it works for this 5-liter pot as well. The other thing that I didn't even realize Jetboil had, this thing has what they call the link system. If I can fold this up without breaking it first time. There we go. This is the Jet Link output, this little guy right here. So what that allows you to do is, of course, you have to buy another accessory, but it's an accessory hose that you can connect another single burner stove, or Jetboil has what they call the Jetboil Luna, which it looks exactly like what I'm currently using for my Jetboil to boil water, but it is made for propane instead of isobutane. So you can have this set up on a table at camp. You can get that Jetboil link hose and then attach that Luna so you can make your coffee, and then you can make 2 side items for breakfast all on one propane connection all at the same time. Now, of course, I think that Luna is 85 bucks. The hose is probably 20. So it's a very expensive setup to make breakfast or whatever, but that's what that link system is. And then the fuel input is right there. So the way that fuel input's gonna work, screw it down, and we're gonna go get a 1-pound propane tank because I wanna see how fast a liter of water can boil using this flux ring technology. It better boil water fast. Before we get the water test going, I just wanna see how easy this thing is to light. So I got the 1-pound propane tank here. This does have 2 piezo ignition levers here on the side that you're just gonna push toward the middle, and you can hear it click. And you got your piezo igniters right here on top of these burners, and you can see a little spark. You can't, but I can. And the other, I think, beneficial thing of this is that this flame is so very fine tunable. On my Nature Hike, if I want to turn it down as low as I can, it's still almost too hot. And then if you crank it just a 1/16 of an inch less, the flame cuts out. So it's not very adjustable. These flames, at least from what I've been researching, are way more adjustable. You can really simmer something, or you can, full gas it and really cook something at pretty high heat. Let's see how easy this thing is to light. So we're gonna turn the gas on. Okay, I can hear it. First time. Let's turn this one on. All right, first time. Let me cut that off, see if you guys can see this flame. So you can see how many turns I have to make on these control knobs to change the output of these flames. It actually turns, I think, 4 times. So it's really, really minute. And how that flame reacts when you turn this down. My Nature Hike, I think you just can turn it once and it's either all the way on or all the way off. This, you can really, really get that flame down really low to just barely a flame. And of course, crank it all the way back up. Now let's see how fast this flux ring capacitor can get some water boiling. Okay, I got exactly 1 liter of room temperature water. Get this thing lit on full bore, full gas. Start. As we're 1:30 in, and it's already steaming. Already got micro bubbles in here. Guys, we're 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, and I think we're close to getting a boil. Oh, there we go, guys. 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and we got a boil. This is pretty interesting. I'm getting about 500, 580, 600, depending on where I get those crosshairs, 620 degrees. And that's pretty cool. You can see that, you can see the flame coming up, or the heat, the infrared heat escaping up. 665, yeah, 686, you take your pick, between 580 and 650 degrees is what that thing's putting out. So everything's kind of cooled down now. And the other thing is, this is really, appears to be really easy to clean if you spill stuff, because this, the pot holder here, you can just squeeze in right here, and it's going to open up, and you can take this thing right out and clean all your mess. This burner actually unscrews, you can take it off. So it does appear to be serviceable, but this comes off real easy to get all the stuff that falls down, your pot overflows or whatever, and it just clamps right back into place. Now, one thing that I'm not too sure about yet is the hinge that holds this thing together. This is plastic right here, which gives me a little bit of concern, but if you can see inside, there is a metal rod that also connects it. So you've got plastic and metal. I'm hopefully, I mean, I haven't heard of too many people having issues with that hinge breaking, but I don't know. I kind of would have liked for it to be metal, to be honest. But let me see if I can get this thing put back together, and it's not going to be like a puzzle, hopefully, getting it put back in the box. So that goes just like that, and then get the rubber flaps. And I'm not too sure what that is. Is it a hanger? I guess you can hang this. I don't know why. Maybe to store it in a cabinet? I don't know. That I have no idea what that's for. But there's a hanging loop on the bottom and one on the top as well. So if you guys have any uses for that, let me know. I think everything stores in this pot. So we're gonna fold the handles down, put the pot in the bag. Get this put in. Oh, maybe it's to lower it. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna use it for. You can lower it in there. Okay. And then, I don't remember how this was packaged. I think the lid goes on and then, oh, perfect. There we go. And I forgot the regulator. I think this stores in the lid. All right. This is what I like, is how easy that is to actually get in this bag. So in case anyone is wondering, now you're not going to buy this for a backpacking trip. This is not an ultralight, super small stove, obviously. It's about 11.5 inches wide, and we're looking at 9 3/4 inches tall. And if you guys care, I'll go ahead and weigh it. But again, this isn't for the weight weenies out there trying to reduce as much weight as they can. But in case you're curious, well, we kind of settled back down to, if I can get that in camera, actually 7 pounds, 9 ounces, almost 7.10 pounds. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. I know lighting's kind of funky in here right now. It just kind of got dark outside. This is a luxury item. This is something, like I said, I've been waiting for 3 years to buy because, well, I've actually gone through 3 of the Nature Hike type stoves. So if you add those together, they still don't come up to this. But I don't know if this is a cry once, buy once type thing, but I wanted to kind of show this to you guys firsthand. That way I can come back in 2 or 3 months after I use this quite a bit to say, yes, it's worth the 300 bucks. No, it's not worth the 300 bucks. It might be worth it. I don't know. I just like how easily packable, uppable it is, and the fine-tune adjustment on that flame is really nice. And these pots and skillets that come with Jetboil, I have 2 of the smaller 6 or 8 inch skillets that I use with my Nature Hike stove, and they're fantastic. I literally don't really have to wash them out. After I'm cooking, I can get a paper towel and wipe them clean because that nonstick surface is so good on those on the Jetboil stuff. So I think if you bought the pot and the skillet separately, it's gonna be about 200 bucks. I don't know if I'm just trying to make myself feel better for spending this kind of money on this, but I will for sure let you guys know if I think it's worth it here after I actually take it out. I'm taking it out tomorrow for the first time. If you wanna follow along on my other channel, Brian Waters Outdoors, where I'm gonna use this, and we're gonna see how it works the very first time, but this will definitely stay in my truck and will be my main camping kitchen for 2026 until it breaks down. Hopefully it lasts longer than a year for 300 bucks. I think this thing only has a 1-year warranty, which is kind of chintzy, I think, for the amount of money that you spend on it. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a 1-year warranty. You guys let me know if I'm wrong there. I'm wrong quite often, but that's about it, guys. This is the Jetboil Genesis camp stove. And the other thing you notice, this was gray. This was $30 more than the orange version of the Genesis camp stove. However, the orange version is either out of stock everywhere. Amazon had it, but it was going to be delivered in like April. So I don't know what's going on with the orange version of this system, but the gray one was the only one that I could find. And of course, it's more expensive. I don't know why. The color, but just so you know, if you try to find the orange one, I had a hard time finding it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates on this, and follow along my other channel if you want to watch some camping episodes, some outdoor adventures of me using it. So until next time, guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.